Hey everybody, it's Monika, mental health therapist, and today we're going to be talking about 4 mistakes that social workers make when they're just starting out in their careers. So if you're interested in this video, then please keep watching. I'm Monika Thomas, the founder and clinical social worker at Kindred Connections Therapy Center. I've been a social worker for over 12 years. I decided to do an entire YouTube channel on my journey from cubicle working social worker to successful entrepreneur. Welcome to my channel. Hey everybody, so we're going to be talking about the 4 mistakes that social workers make when they're first starting out into their careers. So if you're like me, you went to school, you got your bachelor's degree, maybe you're working on your master's degree, and you're just now getting into the field of social work. So one of the biggest questions that I think that social workers ask is, what should I do with my degree after I graduate? Or you find that after you graduate, the job that you wanted to do or the reason why you got your degree, the jobs aren't always there when you first graduate. So you find yourself in your social work career doing something that you never had a passion around doing in the first place. So let's get into those 4 mistakes. Number 1, when you finally do find a position, you stay stuck in that position for way too long. You notice that there's no way for you to move up in the position. You notice that the company culture, and we're going to talk about company culture, is something that you're just not adapting to. You're not passionate about the work. You notice that you're getting very frustrated in the position that you're in, and you don't feel like you're making an impact. So if that's you, then you want to make sure that you're finding a way to expand your education, to find ways to grow your knowledge, to find out what your passion is, and to begin doing that work. Because there's nothing worse than working in the field with people who are vulnerable and people who need you and you're not passionate about the work. So make sure you guard against staying in a position for too long. So you may be asking, how do I know that I've been in a position for too long? Well, some of the things that I just mentioned before. You notice that there's no upward mobility for you in the position. You notice that the position is maybe decreasing in responsibilities. You may notice that different departments are being cut. You may notice that you dread going to work every day, that you're taking your frustrations out on your clients. You may notice that if you've gone back to school and you've acquired a higher level of knowledge and the company that you're working for has no way to accommodate the use of that knowledge and skill. And even when you provide suggestions to your supervisor, they're really not making room for your talents, gifts, or skills. So those are ways that you know that it may be time for you to move on to a different agency or organization. Number 2, regardless of the position that you're in within the social work field, one of the biggest mistakes that social workers make is failing to create appropriate boundaries with their clients. Now, I'm someone who I value forming strong relationships and bonds with my clients. One, because I work in private practice and I know that the outcomes of my practice are directly tied and correlated to the degree to which I can form good relationships with my clients. So that doesn't mean that I don't set appropriate boundaries with clients. It means that I gauge which clients I can have certain boundaries with and which clients I need to have more firm boundaries with. The longer that you've been in the profession, the more that you'll be able to judge that. But just starting out the gate, you don't want to say yes to things that you should be saying no to. You don't want to agree to giving clients rides in your car. You don't want to give clients money. You don't want to be that person that they're always calling whenever they're in trouble or whenever there is a need that they can possibly meet on their own. Because one of the things that we learn within the social work profession is client advocacy, being able to teach clients how to advocate for the things that they need without relying on us. So we are supposed to be the vessels that teach them those skills that they need to be self-sufficient and to be resourceful. And a lot of our clients are already resourceful just because of the ways in which they've been raised or the environments in which they live. So our role as social workers is to help continuing to facilitate they're using the skills that they have, them using the resources that they have, and us helping them brainstorm around things that they can do, as well as problem solve around the things that they can do to improve the quality of their lives. Number 3, Another mistake that social workers make when you're starting into your career is adapting or adjusting to company culture. So you have to know that going into your social work career that every agency and organization that you work with has a company culture. Company culture are those unspoken rules, boundaries, values, expectations that are embedded within the company or the organization that's not in their policies and procedures. But every company has a culture. So the culture can be that you take on more responsibility without compensation. The culture can be the language or the way in which they refer to clients or the type of care that they provide to clients and families. The culture can be one in which the focus is more on productivity than it is on getting outcomes for families. So you have to pay attention to the language, you have to pay attention to the leadership. You have to pay attention to how other people in the community talk about the organization. You have to pay attention to the funding of the organizations. Who do they get their funding from? What kind of organizations do they support and do they link up with? And is that a fit for your values? If it's not a fit for your values, then you know that you're going to be in conflict with that agency about what is best for clients. So you have to be mindful of company culture and not adapting to that. Because again, language is one element that's a part of company culture. And if your agency has language that's very offensive or very inappropriate when talking about specific groups of people, you can then carry that language on when you go to a different agency or when you're interacting with clients. So you have to know all of those phrases and words that are used internally within the organization to refer to clients or to refer to families or phenomenon within the community. You have to make sure that you're guarding against not adapting to that culture when it becomes problematic, offensive, discriminatory, or stereotypical around the client population that you're working with. Number 4. The number 4 mistake that social workers make when you're first going into the field is feeling as if it's your responsibility to save or rescue your clients. That goes back to what we said before about setting boundaries. Our responsibility are to be agents of change, to help facilitate the change process, but not to place ourselves in the center of thinking as if we have to solve all of our problems for our clients. That's not our responsibility. So if you know that you're an empathic person, you have a heart for helping people, you'll find that you'll begin taking on responsibilities that aren't yours to carry. And then that can carry on into your home life. You can start feeling stressful or anxious or overwhelmed by the work because you're taking on things that simply aren't a part of your job description or a part of what you should be doing as a social worker. So you have to begin to reevaluate what you're doing, what your values are, and whether or not you're investing more into your work or into your caseload and not allowing people to take responsibility for the things in their lives for which they can take responsibility for. And knowing whether or not you have empathic tendencies is very important, because as an empath, you'll find that you are a rescuer. You will go to fix things. You will try to suggest or tell people what they should do or try to control and manipulate situations when you pretty much rob your clients of allowing them that opportunity to find out the solutions on their own. And you don't want to be in that role where you're projecting your issues onto your clients. And you also don't want to be in that role where your clients are being your emotional babysitters. That means you take all of your weight and your frustrations into your work, and then you find your clients helping to protect you and calming you down and helping you work through difficulty when your role is supposed to be there and to be supportive of them. That can happen in either a case management role or a therapy role. So you have to make sure that you're guarding against that as well. I'd also mentioned about overwhelm in this video. So if you are someone who finds that you do get overwhelmed in the social work profession, please be sure to check out my audio on managing overwhelm. It'll walk you through the strategies that you need to be able to manage your own overwhelm. And it's not the typical checklist and to-do list and brain dumps. It goes a little bit deeper than that for those of us who are in the field field doing this work. So if you feel that that will be helpful for you, that will also be in the description. It has a worksheet that's attached with it too, so you'll be able to go through the worksheet as you listen to the audio. I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. We're going to be uploading more videos about mental health and working within the social work profession. If there are videos that you would like for me to create, please put those down in the comment section. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with you, and as always, be well.